Welcome to this episode of Mindful Meditation. I am your host, Dr. Sharona Johnson. Today we will explore the power of storytelling through narrative medicine. Narrative medicine creates connections, understanding, and empathy. Generally, storytelling has been a means of communication since the beginning of time. Stories transcend generations. They engage us through emotions and connect us to one another. A good story engages our curiosity and imagination. Storytelling has transformative power. Perhaps the first thing that springs into your mind when you think of storytelling as a child is being told a story. We're all familiar with the traditional storytelling such as fairy tales and legends. But the most important story you can ever tell is your own. Our stories are authentic human experiences that allow us to connect. A kind of shared humanity. They are how we make meaning of life. Stories are how we explain how things work, how we make decisions, how we justify our decisions, how we persuade others. It's how we create our identities. It really defines who we are. Through stories, we share passions and sadness and hardship and joys. We communicate meaning and purpose. Stories are the common ground that allows people to communicate, overcoming their differences. Stories allow us to understand ourselves better and to find our commonality with others. With storytelling, we encounter others' perspectives. We are given the opportunity to learn from one another. It can shape us, strengthen us, challenge us, change our values and opinions. When a story catches our attention and engages us, we are more likely to absorb the message and have a shared experience. When we see the world through the storyteller's eyes, we are granted the privilege of walking in their shoes. So at this moment, I want you to walk in my shoes and see through my eyes as I share my story with you. I ask that you journey with me through time to Fairbanks, Alaska, where I was an ED nurse. That's where my story begins. I worked in the ED with physicians who were bush pilots in their spare time. The nurses ran marathons and rock climbed and did deep sea fishing. We lived for the thrill and excitement of adventure. You see, we were the A-team. The world was our oyster and no patient was a challenge too big. In one particular instance, a call came in over the radio. Cardiac arrest patient en route. We readied ourselves for the challenge. Everyone had their assigned roles. United in our efforts to save the patient. We were a well-oiled machine, orchestrated to perfection. Unfortunately, the patient did not survive. But we felt we left no stone unturned, and we began to prepare the body for the visitors. But there was only one visitor. The wife of the patient walked into the room. She appeared disheveled and frazzled. Her face was one of anguish and heartache. Although we were standing there, I sensed there was nobody else in the room but her and him. She said, "I was waiting on you. You promised we would go for a walk when you got off work today. What will our babies do? We're all that they have. I love you so much." Then there was silence. And what broke the silence was an inconsolable cry. One of heartbreak, brokenness, and despair. On that day, at that very moment, I saw him as well. Since that time, I have never encountered another cardiac arrest patient and saw them as a challenge or a case to be solved. Now I see all my patients as individuals with unique stories to share in. My patients are a part of my shared humanity. As a healthcare provider, I share in their stories, not just their ailment or their diagnosis. As I connected with the wife and grew in my empathy alongside her, I hope you too can connect with my story. As we come to a close, let me end with this poem which summarizes our shared humanity. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind. Thank you for allowing me to share my story. And my only request is that you share yours, because our stories are meant to be shared. Thank you, and have a great day.